It's Nolan. Now that I got your attention, I guess I should probably mention I got a new album available now on my site. Nigga, fuck all that whining and bitching. You looking for greatness, then I'm the description. Dropping me by like a prison. Twisting your brow like ignition and split, nigga. That's what I call on the vision. I'm finna infiltrate, you cannot imitate. I'm from a pedigree, this is not Triple H. I took a road, you can't travel like Triple H. Do the impossible, just like a triple play. Genuine energy, I am not Timberlake. But a nigga too insane. Truck full of money, but to pull up in the ring. So I can give a what the fuck about what a nigga think. I'm on some new shit. Elevated my rubric. I'm an industry nuisance, giving my 2 cents. Telling niggas what the truth is. It ain't even about music. Everybody wanna know the cheat code. Bitch, I got bops on reload. I was just on live 2 hours straight. Ain't playing not one repeat song. I'm ready for the spotlight. I was on the block like a stoplight. Every day I catch lightning in the bottle. The niggas told lies, but not hitting spots twice. Couple years I was living on fried rice. Like a tree when I got to eat Popeyes. Gotta feed them, I get your whole top 5. Spit heat on top like a rabbi. It's Nolan. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Y'all already know what it is, man. Hey, big shout out to Cardi B. Big shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. All right, we're going to get into this whole thing. People have been speculating about them having some secret beef, them not liking each other. I don't know who originated that theory, that story, but it's been circulating for some time now. So much so, like I said in my video, talking to the different hives and fans out there, like, yo, I don't know who came up with this theory that these ladies are beefing or got an issue, but the last time I checked, Megan and Cardi were still excited about their friendship, excited about doing more music together, excited about potentially doing a tour, right? An EP album and touring that EP album and doing a tandem set and solo set. I still think that that's somewhere in their future because there's so much money that could be made. I personally think, hell, if they would have did that instead of Glorilla, that would have been a fucking huge look. If it would have been Megan and Cardi co-headlining on a big tour. You know what I'm saying? That's no disrespect to Glow. I think that was an awesome opportunity of a fucking lifetime for real for her, because she's not a stadium artist just yet, but she's going out there, or arena artist, I should say. But she's going out there and getting the opportunity to get that experience. So by the time she goes back, you know what I'm saying, in a little bit to headline her own shit, you know, that's the process. So she's doing it right. But I'm be honest, if that was a Megan Cardi tour, the shit would have been no question. Nobody could ever say nothing about ticket prices or who sold out what, you know? But yeah, it's been getting weird. People out here saying that Megan is about to take Cardi's spot and all of this type of stuff. And I have been seeing the comments. I had been seeing those rumblings happening for a few weeks, and I was completely confused. I brought that to y'all. Like, the vibes is off, man. I think the competition has definitely made a lot of ugly, I won't say ugly, but it has uncovered some twisted theories and twisted ideas as to the relationship between these two ladies. So last night in New York City, Megan Thee Stallion, Madison Square Garden, said, let me put all the bullshit to rest. Let me bring mother effing Cardi out here and do our big records. WAP. Bongos. She even got up there and performed with motherfucking Glow to do the Tomorrow shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm here for it, man. Dead to bullshit. We don't need it. You know what I'm saying? It's enough beef to go around right now. Everybody beefing. Everybody doing diss records. Everybody trying to get in on it. Everybody trying to dip their toe in the motherfucking square. I'm glad that they came out. Matter of fact, while I'm talking about this, I'm not going to play the music because y'all know how this shit go with the copyright and whatnot, but let's go ahead and just pull up some footage and see them just rocking out together. We could just play this shit while I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? I wish I'd have thought about that about a minute ago, just to like let them fucking gyrate and have a great time while I'm getting this off. All right. So as y'all can see, they're up there doing their mother effing thing. You know what I'm saying? Matching for the most part, having a good time, bouncing up and down and stuff, man. Got the folks going crazy. This is dope. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of what they have going on is very similar. Their fan bases are pretty similar. Their vibes are, for the most part, similar, which is why them doing collaborations made sense in the first place. So, yeah, I'm with this. You know what I mean? To be honest, I want them to continue to stay locked in and unified for as long as possible throughout their careers. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to get to a point where they dissing each other and going back and forth and shit, because then that makes the connection look fake. And I believe it's genuine between them. You get what I'm saying? So I'm here for it. And I think anyone that's not, I would love to know why. Why would you want them to go back and forth? Why would you want them to diss each other? Why would you want them to be out for blood when it's really not like that between them? Right? I do believe there's some people out there that really want to secretly like Megan on that other side. Those Barbs, those Nicki fans. I think some of them definitely want to like Megan. And I think that the one thing that would make them feel comfortable in liking Megan is if she were to go at Cardi and start dissing. Then you'll feel so much better about yourself listening to her music to know you think you got a half an ally. Ah, man. You know, unfortunately, I had to go ahead and be truthful about that, but I know we're going to get some hate over here for the fact that I said it. But I don't give a fuck, because that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. And please, I know I'm asking where the theory came from. I've heard some ideas on where those theories came from. I really don't want to speak too much on that, because I don't want no smoke with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I come on here, I spread my opinion. I talk about music. I love music. And that's what I do, man. Sign out, go back to my family, go back to doing what I do in music. So I would really appreciate nobody throwing shots at nobody, because I know I seen, but we don't want no issues over there, man. Some of y'all actually got here through some of these people. So much love and respect. So yeah, I'm glad to see them on stage doing their fucking thing. That's all I got to say on that one. Glad to see them on stage doing their motherfucking thing. And I believe this Friday, there will be the remix to Wannabe with Glow, Megan, and Cardi all on one motherfucking track. I mean, Wannabe was already doing this shit. So to get Cardi on there bussing, I hope she shows up. I hope she shows out. I hope she pops her shit. And I hope it shoots up the motherfucking charts for the remix. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to do even more positive for Glorilla, because ultimately she needs all the help, all the looks that she can get, because she's a budding artist. She's rising. She's got a couple hit records under her belt, but she still needs those looks that could elevate her to the next level. So I'm excited about that for her. Okay. Now, I am curious if this is the feature that Cardi was talking about a couple weeks ago that was supposed to come out, and then after that, you're going to start getting the solo material, another single leading into the album that was supposedly never going to come this year, but Atlantic Records says, haha, don't know what she talking about. Cam Barbie comes out and says, haha, don't know what she talking about. That motherfucker coming. All right? So perhaps after we get this remix on Friday, come around June 1st or something around there, maybe we'll get that Cardi single. Hopefully we get the big smash for the summer from Cardi, you know what I'm saying? That can really set her up and build her momentum, get her back into the conversation, because, a couple months ago, everybody was excited, everybody was ramped up, everybody was hyped, and then she just kind of sunk back into I don't even know what to call it, second guessing, analysis paralysis, whatever it is. So hopefully, whatever state the album is in, like, let that motherfucker out soon. Same to Megan. We need these projects. We're midway through the fucking year at this point, and we need music to carry us throughout the rest of the year, because honestly, there's not too many other artists that we're going to be able to count on that's going to give us what we need, right? On a grand scale of things, people are waiting on artists like Kendrick to see what that album's going to be. If it drops this year, they claim that he was working on it and that he's still working on it, but we don't know if it's going to come out this year. The Drake fans out there, of course, they're waiting on Drake to see what his summer vibes and stuff are looking like. But there's a lot of people that are not checking for Drake no more after that battle, and after some of the other shit that's come out on his jacket. So he's somewhere in the conversation, but not very urgent. Then you've got Cardi and Megan, right? I don't know who else. I mean, we got Cole still with the Fall Off, but if he doesn't drop the Fall Off this year, I don't think anybody's calling home to cry. You got a project from him already this year. So yeah, I think in order to stimulate the hip hop economy and keep everything going, the festival circuit, the shows, the everything, you need this, right? Even though, of course, Megan is booked out. It's needed. So hopefully we could get those. All right. Now, of course, outside of these ladies and that conversation, the other conversation that's going on in hip hop that's not going anywhere anytime soon is the Diddy conversation, the Diddy and Cassie thing. More people have come out to say their piece on it. Joe Budden came out and said his piece on it today. A lot of people were waiting to see what he was going to say. I'm not saying that I really was waiting on it myself. He released a statement the other day, and I was pretty much good with what he said the other day for the most part, because like y'all were saying, who needs it? You know what I mean? He's got enough on his name. It's enough in his history, in his Encarta, for people to rag on him too. But he did come out and make a official statement today on his podcast, and we're going to play some of it. All right. So he calls Diddy a lying sack of shit. And as he got on his high horse, Mr. Tahiry came out and knocked his fucking block off. But we're going to play his audio first. All right. So here's Joe.
We're starting with the news that CNN broke last week, where they obtained hotel footage of Puff violently, graphically stalking and attacking Cassie. If that other angle come out, maybe kidnapping as well. But when it turned the corner, we don't get to see. But you ran a long way down that hallway, and if you dragged her even 4 more feet, we now include kidnapping. That shit was disgusting, what we all had to witness. That shit was almost unbearable to watch. I'm certain that was triggering for a lot of people. Absolutely. A lot of people that saw it. And that was Friday. I assumed that he would go and just hide somewhere. But why would you do that when you are just a glutton for attention? So he pops right back out. Talk about tone deaf. Talk about inability to read a room. Where are the fucking publicists? Where's anybody in this moment? But he pops back out with this half-hearted bullshit apology that was like, it was almost offensive. It was like a slap in the face, that apology.
I didn't even watch it. I don't need to hear from him.
I mean, I watched it because it was quick. It wasn't even, he didn't even try to put some sincerity into this thing. That CNN Puff story broke as we were recording.
Literally.
And while we did touch on it, when I listened back, I didn't feel like enough time was devoted to just how much of a fucking lunatic that nigga looked like and what that means industry-wide for all parties involved. I think this broadcast is too big and comes with a great responsibility in matters like this. And I know that a lot of the music industry listens to this podcast. And I don't think this is the last of it, nor do I think that he is the only one. So at any point, we want to start having some uncomfortable conversations.
You sure you want to do that?
Not only am I down for it, but I'm down to initiate it. Because this shit is a mess out here. And he looks like a fucking nut. He looks like a complete
monster.
Just a complete evil piece of shit. What I saw on that video, as horrific as it was, lends a lot of credence to anything horrific I've ever heard.
Yep.
And that's the uncomfortable spot. Well, it's all uncomfortable, let me be clear. But maybe he was unaware of some of the things that were out there about him, that real niggas is just running around saying, nah, shit sounds so crazy. When you hear about people blowing up cars, it sounds like some movie shit. I need footage, I need something. When you start hearing about some of the other things we've heard about, I think that video allows for everything to be back on the table. Anything that you've ever heard now is just on the table. You lying sack of shit.
You know this.
And you tone deaf, and you so tone deaf, you on Instagram saying shit like time will tell the truth.
And everybody,
you don't know when to shut the fuck up.
Well, just as he said, you don't know when to shut the fuck up, Tahiry came out with, well, let's get to what Tahiry said. You know what I mean? Give me a moment, because she had a few things to say today. And for those of y'all that may not remember Tahiry, that is one of Joe's exes. They were on the TV show Love and Hip Hop New York together, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think she kind of, she was on there with him, but I don't think they were. I can't even remember, goddamn. But we'll get to it. Just give me a second so I can pull this thing up. All right. So Tahiry comes out and says, fuck out of here. Who? The irony. This is so triggering. I remember Joey throwing me down a flight of stairs, dragging me back into the house, and me having to talk him into letting me go. She comes back and doubles down and says, for hours. She comes back and triples. She said, this whole ish took me out. So hard to watch. So sorry for Cassie and every other woman who's currently going through it or has ever gone through it. It's tough. Okay, so Tahiry says, hold on, who's speaking on this? Joe? So she comes back and says, I remember him he threw her down a flight of steps and then drug her back into the house, and she had to try to talk some sense into him for hours just to let her go. So at that point, I mean, what do they call that? I mean, I think they call it kidnapping, if I'm not mistaken. You holding somebody, or involuntary, something like that. False imprisonment. That's what I was looking for. I had to Google it. I know I've seen it and heard it before, but it slipped my mind. False imprisonment. The dragging thing. I mean, Joe even addressed that in the Diddy thing, where that could be called kidnapping. Throwing someone down a flight of steps. I mean, that's a form of assault. So that's 3 counts right there. I don't know if that was ever reported to the police, but yeah, just as y'all were saying in the chat the other day, Joe might want to sit this out because there's too much that could come up and resurface on him. Woo! Well, just as he criticized Diddy for coming out and speaking and being tone deaf, Joe decided to fire back himself. Now, what do you say about that? Check this out. Joe says to Tahiry, "You are a lying, failed gold digger that has abused, targeted, and manipulated many men." Let's just lock in on that first statement for a second. You are a lying, failed gold digger. So basically, because she's been tied to other men of status in the industry outside of Joe, I believe Fab, I believe J.R. Smith when he was playing for the Knicks. Was she with Votto? She was with Votto too, right? So I guess that is what he's trying to say about the gold digging. I don't know if that qualifies, especially not Joe or Votto. But he then goes to say that she targeted and manipulated men, basically trying to say in so many words that she provokes a rise out of men and then accuses them of abuse. I'm thinking that's what he's trying to get at here. That's his perspective, not mine. I don't know Tahiry. He says, outside of me, you lack an identity, which is why you've tried desperately to attach yourself to me for over 15 years. He says, the last time I saw you, I purchased a mattress from you and you were happy you made the sale. This nigga's crazy. This nigga's insane. This nigga's diabolical. He just shamed her for having a job. Wow. That's crazy. Now, some people out there will say, he's not shaming her for having a job and working at a mattress shop. Well, that's what it sounded like to me. The last time I saw you, I purchased a mattress from you and you were happy you made the sale. You were fine then. Basically saying you ain't had no problem with me coming in that mattress store to drop a little bag to help your commission. Everything was all hunky-dory last time we spoke or saw each other. But now you want to go bad on me all over again. That, again, is Joe's perspective, not J Nolan's, please. Okay? Is there more? Oh, there's much more, actually. He says, there was that night after Starlets 6 years ago when you invited me inside your new place. You were fine then too. So he says, in somewhat recent years, what would that be? 2018, which is after she came out and said some things about him. He's saying you were still cool with me coming into your house. You know what I mean? The last time I saw you, I got a mattress. You was good. The last time I saw you before that, you invited me inside your crib. He says you were on my, oh, wow. He says you were on my body your entire last stint on Love and Hip Hop and tried your best to disrespect my son's mother in the process. This nigga's going crazy. Whoa. He says, I had to ask producers to keep you away from us like the cancer you are. Now, Joe, I don't know what Tahiry did. She might have been on you. You know, she might have been jocking you. Y'all have a very extensive relationship as far as whatever y'all dealt with while y'all were together, whether that be cheating, sidestepping, arguments, Joe Budden TV episodes, alleged events of you putting hands on her, which I'm inclined to believe, I mean, everyone that's dealt with you has a story. So it sounds like you may not be too far from Diddy, but for the sake of this, we're going to keep going. He called her a Cancer. And we're not talking about astrology. He says, yet you continue to slight my name online because it's your identity. He says, I don't speak to you or about you because it's low vibrational. You're a low-level Dykeman whoa, damn. Whoa. All the New York East Coast motherfuckers looking like, whoa, now what did Dykeman do? He says, you're a low-level Dykeman con woman that's been lying about you already know for ages. He says, I pray you heal and move on one day. Hopefully this is our last exchange. Prayers to all real victims. He says, hopefully this is the last time we ever talk in life, is I don't want to have to go in on your ass all over again. This is crazy. Wow. But if you thought that was the end of it, you'd be thinking wrong all over again. Okay? Tahiry comes back and says, Joe, you can say whatever you want about me. Those that know me know I'm not scared of you anymore. You can keep bullying, intimidating the rest. Those that know you and are around you also know the truth. Sad that they continue to enable your behavior. Your time is coming. So she says, hey, you can say what you want, but just believe. Trust and believe. Your day is coming too. That is what Tahiry says. Now, I don't know what happened with Joe and the last young lady he was with. I think they're no more either. Now, if she comes out one of these days and has her own set of accounts and stories, I think that'll be the nail in the coffin. But, you know, we're gonna sit on that for a moment. A lot of y'all said, hey, Joe should have sat this out. Perhaps he should have, but he didn't. So here we go. All right? That's that on them. Not only that, as we are on the Diddy
We're
subject,
starting with
God damn. Since we're on the Diddy subject, Cassie's former makeup artist, Miss Mila Morales, she recalls a traumatic experience where she witnessed Cassie badly bruised with knots on her head and a black eye after a violent altercation with Diddy, revealing that she called a friend who was a doctor to treat Cassie. Okay? Also, Mila Morales calls Diddy's apology video a PR stunt. She went to Extra TV to tell her story. We're going to play a little bit of it. So here we are.
Forward to say that she feared for Cassie's safety and her own.
We were always scared of Puff. Like he's a powerful person, and we don't know what would happen to us if we spoke out.
Mila Morales, a makeup artist who worked with both Diddy and Cassie, spoke with our special correspondent, Page Six's Carlos Greer.
Did you know about the physical abuse? Did you ever hear stories or beating her?
I did not know. But I witnessed it.
Mila recounted an incident at...
Hold on. You did not know, but you witnessed it. I ain't gonna hold this over your head too hard, but maybe it was the way they cut that made it sound crazy.
The Beverly Hills Hotel one Grammy weekend more than a decade ago.
What did you hear? What did you think you were witnessing?
I don't even want to go back to it because it's triggering. All I witnessed was him walking into the room and saying, "Where the is she?" And I didn't know what was going on because I was like, I just woke up from a slumber, and next thing you know, all I hear from the bedroom was, just, I don't want to go back and think about.
So you're at the Beverly Hills Hotel. You hear something. You don't see Puffy actually physically attacking her, but you hear something.
I did not know what was going on. All I can think of was to get her out of there.
What happened when she appeared, when you saw her?
She was bruised. I mean, badly bruised, like knots on her head, a black eye. All I cared about was to get her to safety. And I took her into my house and kept her there for a few days. And I literally called my friend, who was a doctor at the time, to treat her because we couldn't bring her to the hospital. We didn't know what the hell to do at that point. You know, who are we gonna call? I'm scared just even talking about this, but I feel like somebody has to.
What did you make of his apology?
My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Just a PR stunt? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, he didn't even mention her name. And if he was apologetic about it, he would mention her name, but he didn't. And that's what I don't understand. And I just feel like he's a great, talented Mr. Ripley.
All right.
And now a former good friend of Cass.
Motherfuckers. All right. So that's Miss Mila Morales. Now, one thing I would say I wasn't crazy about in her account was how you agreed to go on Extra TV to talk about this, to talk about your knowledge and your experience and your witnessing of violence between Diddy and Cassie, and then try to say, well, I don't even want to mention it. I don't even want to think about it. Well, you should have thought about that before you thought about showing up on TV to where you could be asked about it. If you don't want to speak on it. I mean, I know some people just have bullshit embedded into their veins. You've been in the industry for so long, you want to make it sound, and I mean, it is horrific. It's a traumatic experience. I understand that part of it. But on the same token, you had enough time to recall that and say, you know what? I'm just not comfortable talking about it on TV. Maybe I'll save this for my own personal page to just speak to the small audience that I have. Maybe it'll go viral and, but at that point I can kind of maybe tune it out. Maybe I won't speak at all. Maybe you should have spoken to the police when this happened. And I'm not trying to hold Miss Mila accountable for Diddy's actions in any kind of way. I just don't like when people go on TV knowing the objective and then be acting like, oh, well, I'm real hesitant to, even think about it. You sure thought about it when you opened that email and received that phone call. Come on, man. But if the story ended there, it would be enough. Unfortunately, it isn't. Okay? We've got another lawsuit on Diddy that is surfaced online. We've got we've got 50 Cent allegedly selling a Netflix docuseries covering Diddy after a bidding war. Don't know how real that is. But I guess whenever Netflix releases it, we'll know exactly how real it is. But that's a report that's going around. And then we've got Miss Crystal Mckinney, who has a lawsuit filed against Diddy. All right. So here we are. Diddy is facing yet another lawsuit filed by a former model who claims the disgraced mogul enticed her with promises of career advancement, but she claims his plan was far more sinister. Crystal Mckinney claims in the suit obtained by TMZ in 2003, when she was just 22 years old, she was invited to a Men's Fashion Week event at Cipriani's downtown in New York City. She met Combs at the event and he invited her back to his studio. She says shortly after their arrival, Combs and several colleagues were drinking Hennessy and passing around joints. She took a hit of some weed, which she said was very powerful, quote unquote, and it felt as if she was floating. She claims that the joint had been laced with a narcotic or some other drug because it was too strong. Crystal says that Combs then demanded that she follow him to the bathroom, where she says he forced himself on her, began kissing her, and shoved her head down into his crotch area before commanding her to perform fellatio on him. She says she refused. However, he only continued to push her head down and force oral stimulation. She started walking away, but then she felt woozy and lost consciousness. She says the next thing she knew, she woke up in a taxi and realized that she had been SA'd. It's unclear from the lawsuit if she's referring to the alleged forced oral or another act that might have occurred while she was unconscious. She claims she was subsequently blackballed from the modeling industry. She got severely depressed and even attempted to unalive herself in 2004. Crystal says upon seeing news of the lawsuits filed by Cassie and others, she knew she had a moral obligation to speak up and tell her story and also file a lawsuit where, you know, she may eventually be paid out. Okay? So that's Miss Crystal McKinney's story. And I don't think this will be the last. I think there's going to be many more. It's very similar to R. Kelly, very similar to Bill Cosby. There's going to be so many more because you got to think, this nigga's been out here in the industry since the early 90s, late 80s. And the stories start back as far as what, 92, 93? The Aaron Hall shit, where he was there with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So anyone that wants to act surprised, especially you, the black man is God ass niggas that feel like niggas can't do no wrong or why they waited so long, you know, if you're surprised, take a number, okay? Because if it's over 30 years of this person having this type of personality, this obsessive personality, there's going to be numerous more. Niggas going down. All right? That's what we do know. We know that with certainty. Now, he may not go to jail, but again, he may if they can find enough on him. I don't see how you put Cosby in jail for shit that happened in the 70s, but you can't, you know what I'm saying? But you can't visit shit from 2016. I think that's weird. Also, Tiffany Red, Cassie's friend, she came out with a clarification. Remember when we talked about the person that was hung over the balcony at Cassie's house? I think there's been multiple people that have been hung over balconies. Some people speculated that it was Wale in a studio, and Diddy came in enraged that they were working together in the studio, Cassie and Wale. I don't know if I've ever heard a Cassie and Wale record. But they say he, you know, hung him over, or flung him over, let's use that word, flung him over the balcony, held him on by his legs or whatever. Wale says, hey man, that's some 5 Heartbeat shit, that ain't happened to me, right? Well, Tiffany Red says, whatever this was, this happened in LA, not New York. And it was a woman that was being held off a 17th floor balcony in LA. So she says, whatever y'all heard about the other incident, that's not even the same. This one is about a woman that was, you know, flung, dangled, hanging on for dear life on the 17th floor in 2016. This is a totally different thing. This nigga's a madman, dog. I think putting them in prison, even if they were to do it, would be too lenient. He needs some charges out in Texas so they could go ahead and put him to sleep. That's where I stand. Meet the Grrrls. We're gonna need a new version of that with Diddy family inserted into the lyrics. How about that? Shit's disgusting, man. I don't even want to go too much further. We've had the conversation. We've talked about it. We've covered everything. Much love and respect to everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like and share the video. If you've been, you know what I'm saying, you've been rocking with Inside the Industry for a minute, man. I always want to take time out to thank y'all, give y'all flowers, give y'all just do appreciation. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going to catch y'all later. More content to come. Again, if you want to get one of these Inside the Industry hats, just hit me up at Real J Nolan on Twitter or Instagram. I'm going to have the public link ready for y'all soon. But I am still working out some of the kinks on the colors because this really was not supposed to be yellow. But I'm going to go back to the drawing board with the company that, did the embroidery on this. Figure that out, and we'll have these available for you shortly. We're going to have hoodies. We're going to have, it's a little hot for hoodies, but we're going to have those available. And we're going to also have t-shirts available very soon. Just in the process of getting the samples in. So any little kinks that I see, I could get those things worked out. All right. Much love and respect. I'll catch y'all later. Peace. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross I'm out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.